Hi, my name's Sheehan, and today I'd like to talk about Wozzeck, a recent production I saw at the Royal Opera House. It's kind of a review, I suppose. Now, usually my videos are in-depth explorations of famous pieces of music, operas, etc. I'm trying to branch out a little bit, just basically put a few more videos out there about musical things I'm interested in or what I've experienced in the musical world. So here is a review of this opera I saw recently. By the way, I'm very interested in lots of other things. So for instance, I do a lot of pop and rock music which I record, and I do lots of videos about literature, etc. So the links for those are below if you're interested. But anyway, yeah, Wozzeck. Of course, it's a great opera written by Berg, the early 20th century, premiered in 1925. Such a bleak work, such a pessimistic, nihilistic work even. Basically how humans just exploit each other and kind of ride roughshod over each other's humanity, their inherent dignity. You know, in Act 1 we've got this guy Wozzeck, but by the way, this is based on a play by Georg Büchner. And in Act 1 we've got this guy Wozzeck who's a kind of soldier, and he's bullied by his captain. He has to earn additional money by having these medical experiments, so he has to interact with this doctor, and he's quite disturbed, it seems, mentally. You know, he's having these hallucinations, these visions, and his partner Marie, who they have a child together. You know, Wozzeck's never at home, and her eye has kind of wandered to this drum major. So it's not a happy family life, and Wozzeck is this rather tortured individual, as indeed Marie is. In Act 2, Wozzeck's basically tortured by his imagination of Marie and her infidelity with the drum major, and his mental torment grows and grows and grows. And in Act 3 he actually kills Marie. Eventually Wozzeck tries to hide the knife which he stabbed Marie with and in a lake, and he drowns, and the doctor and the captain hear him drowning, his tormentors, and in this terribly bleak ending these kids tell Wozzeck and Marie's son that the child's mother is dead. So that's Wozzeck. It's not a cheerful night at the opera, that's for sure. And perhaps you could say it's not entertaining either. It's certainly a challenging evening, but it's a great opera. It reveals so much about human motivations, the darkness in every human soul. And the music, of course, is incredible. And despite its free atonality, structured in these classical forms and Baroque forms, very clever. But I'm not talking about that now. I'm talking about this production. And this production at the Royal Opera House, directed by Deborah Warner, with a set design by Hayimi Shin. This performance was conducted by Antonio Papano. Was really good. Christian Gerhard played Wozzeck, Anya Camper Marie, Peter Hoare the captain, and Brindley Sherritt the doctor. And what did I like about this production? Well, it just looked very grim, and that's what you want Wozzeck to look like. For a start, when the opera opens in this production, you've got all these soldiers sitting on toilets, and kind of gives off this odour of a kind of moral stink, which is in the original play, and of course in the opera itself. So that's kind of very effective, I think. And you have, like, throughout the opera, this backdrop of these, what I describe as Chernobyl trees. These trees completely stripped of all life, just like hanging there, suspended. You have the blood red moon and the sky, which is in the libretto. And it's all very gloomy, very atmospheric, very effective. Another thing I like about Wozzeck, of course, is each act is split into 5 scenes, and every scene in this production is heralded by this veil that comes down and hides the scene changes, and you see the shadows of the stagehands and the singers behind it, and it's very effective, and it helps keep your interest actually in this opera, which is a challenging listen. It helps keep your interest because you know that each scene change is signalled in this way. It keeps you engaged in the piece. And the cast is really good. Christian Gerhard is this isolated, tortured soul, sings beautifully as Wozzeck. Perhaps a little anonymous, you know, there's not perhaps as much character as you'd expect, but maybe that's the point. Maybe it's just this kind of anonymous figure just pushed and drilled into the ground. Anya Kamper is touching as Marie, but I really enjoyed Peter Hoare and Brindley Sherratt as the captain and the doctor. They really were a gruesome twosome, full of sardonic wit and this kind of devilish glee in their performances. And they really, I suppose, brought a little humour to this very dark opera. They were really excellent, both of them. The orchestra was glorious. This kind of sweep of, despite the atonality, this kind of gorgeous, sensuous sound from this full orchestra. You know that bit in Act 2, Scene 5, where the drum major kind of wakens Wozzeck. You know, the beginning where all the soldiers are asleep. It's just so gorgeous, that music, so haunting. And similarly, the way the opera ends. Another thing that really impressed me was the onstage band in Act 3. You know, really difficult music, atonal of course, but of course imbued with the spirit of the waltz. This onstage band played the music so effectively, so idiomatically, without music as well. I thought it was a really nice touch in this production, including an out of tune upright piano and a guitar. My only criticism really is, and this just really and it's nothing to do with the performance itself. It's just so irritating. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but just as those incredible closing bars are sounded, and before the conductor could put his baton down, some idiot at the back of the stalls decided to applaud enthusiastically, you know, like about 10 seconds before everybody else. And it's just such a vain and selfish thing to do. We get it, you know the score, well done you, fantastic, congratulations. But why spoil that wonderful close to this great opera by just virtue signalling the fact that you know this difficult work very well and you know when it ends? How pathetic. I don't know if you've ever experienced anything like that, but it really annoyed me. I think I've experienced it a few times in concerts, but it just really annoys me. Just let the music end and then applaud, particularly on an ending like Berg's Wozzeck. So anyway, there we go. At the Royal Opera House at the moment. If you are in London, check it out. It's a really good production. And thanks for watching. And you know, if you like my channel, I haven't asked anyone this before, please consider just, you know, donating or buying me a coffee at least on PayPal. The link is up there. Thanks for watching. Bye.